Okay, good morning, everybody. Assalamualaikum. Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri to Prof and everyone celebrating.
Thank you.
It is 10 o'clock in Malaysia time, 9 o'clock Bangkok time, and we have our first presenter, Xing Li. Your paper is on exploring the impact of parental support on life satisfaction, a comparison of urban and rural contexts. If you are ready, Xing Li, you can present, but please be reminded you only have 10 minutes and 5 minutes Q&A, total 15 minutes. Xing Li?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead. Sheshe.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Xing Li. I'm glad to be here to do the presentation. Today, my topic is about exploring the impact of parent support on life satisfaction, a comparison of urban and rural contexts. This slide shows my background. In the high-pressure education environment of China, adolescents' life satisfaction is increasingly valued as a measure of well-being and social adaptation. Despite top performances in interpersonal tests like PISA, Chinese students report low life satisfaction than OECD averages. Parent support is a key predictor of adolescents' well-being, but its especially mechanism in the Chinese context are still unclear. Urban-rural disparities in China shaped family support patterns and educational opportunities, potentially moderating these efforts. Let's move to the literal review. Strongly linked to adolescents' well-being, yet few students distinguish emotional and instrumental support, especially in East Asia setting. Interpersonal relationship and academic self-efficacy. This we can see positive peer and teacher relationship enhance emotional security and social integration. Critical for motivation and adaptation mediates various psychological outcomes. And urban students receive more emotional support due to better parental involvement. Rural students rely on instrumental help. And guided by self, we've used three theoretical frameworks to guided by self-determination theories, social cognitive theories, and ecological system theories. I found my research gap. There are three gaps remain. Limited research on urban and rural differences in how emotional and instrumental support influences life satisfaction, and unclear mechanism through which interpersonal relationship and academic self-efficacy mediate the relationship between parental support and life satisfaction. There is a lack of multi-group comparison that tests whether the environmental moderates this pathway. In my study, I used cross-sectional and SEM and MGA analysis. And there are 499 grade students to involve our study. I used valid questionnaires, the parental support skills, and BMSLSS, and academic self-efficacy skills, interpersonal relationship skills. We can find that the sample demographics, a total of 490 valid questionnaires were collected with average male and females, and the sample was eventually distributed between urban and rural students. Most participants lived with both parents, while others live with a single parent, grandparents, or other relatives. This is my hypothesis. I have the three hypotheses, and we can see the pulse coefficient and the t-value and p-value. The results indicate that both emotional and instrumental parent support significantly influenced adolescents' life satisfaction. Emotion support exhibits a strong direct impact than instrumental support, suggesting that emotional warmth and encouragement play a crucial role in enhancing life satisfaction. Additionally, interpersonal relationship and academic self-efficacy serve as key mediators, reinforcing the indirect pathway through which parent support affect life satisfaction. Specifically, emotional support enhance interpersonal relationship, which in turn contributed to higher life satisfaction, whereas instrumental support of passionless academic self-efficacy, indirectly improving life satisfaction. This is my urban and rural differences. We can see the graph. The results indicate that emotional support has a strong effort on life satisfaction among urban students, whereas instrumental support is more critical in rural settings. These findings suggest that urban students may benefit more from emotional support due to great access to emotional and school-based resources, while rural students rely on instrumental support due to economic constraints. This is after my research, I have some recommendations to others. First part is parental guidance programs. We can use the region-specific training for school on emotional and instrumental support to improve quality of parent involvement. And the second part, we can, from the social connection building, we can use the peer membership, student-teacher interaction programs to stronger interpersonal relationship. And from the third part, academic competencies support, we can use the tutoring mentorship programs in resource-limited schools and to higher academic self-efficacy and motivations. So that's all my presentation. And thank you very much for your attention and welcome your questions and discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Zingli. That was a very nice, interesting, insightful research that you have done. May I know, before I open the questions to the floor, may I know, ninth graders, what is the exact age?
The age about the 14 to 15. Yeah.
Okay. So that's almost a middle teenager age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I now would like to welcome questions from the virtual participants. If anyone have any questions.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
Why did you choose to distinguish between emotional and instrumental parental support?
Thank you for your question. We distinguish between the emotional and instrumental support to better capture the multidimensional nature of parent involvement. And peer research often treats parental support as a single construct, which may obscure maybe a little more with psychological need and emotional support mental is often needs, especially relevant to 这个 social, economically. So disadvantaged contexts such as the rural China. Yeah, thank you.
Zingli,
Yeah.
I noticed that quite a significant percentage of your respondents stay with their parents. Do they still continue to stay even in adulthood? Is that the culture in China?
Sorry, can you pardon?
Do these children, 14 years old, when they reach adulthood, do they still stay with their parents?
Yes. I think in many cities, for city children, they always live with their parents. But I know in the countryside, the children always live with their grandparents because the parents of them should go to city to earn money to work in city.
Okay, I was trying to compare the trend in China to that in Malaysia. Some do stay with their parents if they are in the city, but most of the grandparents are usually in the villages also. So thank you, Zingli.
Thank you very much.
All right, our second presenter is Juliana Osman.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Juliana Osman, if you are ready.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Zingli, could you take down your slides, please? Yeah, Dr. Juliana, you have 10 minutes to present, 5 minutes for Q&A. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera and a very good morning to the chairperson, Prof. Guy, and all the distinguished guests here today. I hope everyone is feeling well. My name is Juliana and I'm here to present my research entitled Evaluating Comfort Performance in Plus-Size Caesarean Undergarment Design. So a little bit of a brief overview of this research. So Malaysia is currently ranked as the highest obesity rate in Malaysia, in Asia at 54.4%, with the prevalence amongst females, especially women of reproductive age of 20 to 49 years old. So obesity at this age often leads to maternal obesity, which carries a higher health risk, which may or may not lead to a cesarean section procedure. So for obese women, the complication may start before the cesarean procedure, during the cesarean, and post-cesarean recovery due to the existing health condition. So based on a survey of plus-size cesarean women in Malaysia, other than physical pain, they commonly face challenges related to apparent belly, dampness, and decreased mobility. As you can see from this picture, the belly is folded, covering the incision, which is often done due to the cut itself, sweat, and humid conditions in Malaysia. So keeping the incision clean and dry is vital to avoid skin infection. While clinical interventions are crucial for post-cesarean recovery, patient often seeks comfort through other means such as therapy, activities, and many more. So in Malaysia, postpartum mothers typically go through a berpantang or confinement period for mother to recover and get back to their healthy state. But in modern society, mothers are more independent and there's a shift in confinement practices, especially in product choices. So one of these products is undergarments for plus-size cesarean patients. To understand their comfort needs, a survey was conducted to understand their confinement challenges and comfort needs in order to design a suitable undergarment design. While modern bengkong were marketed towards plus-size cesarean patients for postpartum recovery, many plus-size women actually prefer oversized undergarments that are easy to wear, breathable, and non-compressive, as compression can cause more pain than comfort. So comfort during recovery involves 4 main aspects, which are sensorial comfort, body movement comfort, thermophysiological comfort, and psychological comfort. So as you can see, this is the result from the survey. So we're moving on to a theoretical framework. So the theoretical framework was developed to design a suitable recovery undergarments to address the comfort needs of plus-size cesarean patients during the confinement period. So the framework focuses on 3 key challenges, which is the apron belly, the dampness, and decrease of mobility. The undergarment design should be easy to wear, comfortable, and made from materials that provide the necessary breathability and support. So based on the previous statements, I would like to share the objective of the research. So the first one is to validate the theoretical framework that I showed previously by creating prototypes of plus-size cesarean undergarment through a wear and test session. So the framework-based test approach was employed to evaluate the comfort performances. And the research is to evaluate the comfort of the undergarment, including clothing and physical and physiological comfort using wear and test sessions. And another objective is to assess the improvement in comfort over time, specifically between the 1st and 4th hours of the wear and test sessions. So the objective, basically the design is to lift and not to compress. So as you can see, this is the incision and this is the apron belly. So we wanted to lift the belly without putting too much pressure. So from moving on to the methodology, a mixed method approach was employed for this research. So based on the framework, 3 major components are required, which is material, design, and prototype. So the choice of fabrics are based on the result of the comfort performance test on a single jersey fabrics. So bamboo spandex, cotton spandex, and knitted bamboo fabrics were utilized for the prototypes. And undergarment designs were developed from sketches, toile, and final product productions, focusing on lifting the apron belly without inserting extreme compression to the belly. So the prototypes were made in size 2XL to 6XL using the ASTM, which is the American Standard Sizing Chart for plus-size women. Next, the prototypes are put to test using the wear and test method. The purposive sampling method was explicitly applied to Malaysian patients with body mass index above 25, specifically those aged 20 to 49 years old. So 10 respondents were recruited with strict guidance and approval from the maternity hospital, where patients must be physically and emotionally healthy and consent to participate in the study. It is worth noting that the recruitment of respondents and the tests are conducted following specific limitations and ethics approval, as cesarean patients are considered high risk. All tests are performed in a hospital setting under the observation of an ONG specialist. So the tests involve 2 sections of data collection. One is at the 1st hour of wearing, and the second is at the 4th hour of wearing. A Likert scale evaluation was applied, where respondents rated their comfort performance based on clothing comfort, physical comfort, and psychological comfort after the data were collected, and then the result were produced. So in these slides is the wear and test result. So based on the table shown, the data collected from all respondents are presented. As you can see, the Likert scale ratings range from very poor to very good. For the clothing comfort performance category, respondents rated the undergarments breathability, material feel, pressure and support, sweat absorbency, and size suitability. For physical comfort, is the position of the body, which is standing up, sitting down, laying down, walking, and pressure on the skin. And lastly, the psychological comfort is the perception on the easiness to put on and off, the feeling of safe to wear without worrying about pain, and the suitability of the design for daily usage. So the analysis reveals distinct difference in comfort level related to various aspects. So for clothing comfort, significant variation were observed in breathability and sweat absorbency, indicating the material's effectiveness in maintaining comfort over time. Regarding the physical comfort, the undergarment performed best in sitting in lying position, highlighting the adaptability to these postures. While there was an overall improvement in comfort across all categories, size suitability received the lowest rating, suggesting it may be an area for potential enhancement. On the other hand, design suitability for design usage was rated the highest, emphasizing that the product's design is well suited for everyday wear. And then a pair sample t-test was conducted to analyze the comfort performance of plus-size cesarean undergarment design between the first and fourth hours. So the paired sample t-test showed significant improvement in comfort over time with a p-value of 0.00, suggesting the design effectiveness. So comfort improvement from the first to fourth hour, confirming the success of the prototype. From this research, we concluded that the first one is the fabric selection, compaction strength, and the design of undergarments are key to ensuring comfort for plus-size patients. And secondly, the high variability of oversized, easy-to-wear design is preferred by Malaysian plus-size cesarean patients. The focus should be on comfort, reducing pain, and addressing confinement challenges as concerns about beauty standards are minimal during recovery. And then an effective functional design can enhance overall comfort, positively impacting the healing process. While this research does not claim to improve the healing process, the comfort in clothing fulfills the human needs for comfort during difficult times. And then based on the research observation and results, sizing and fit are complex issues, and there is no standard sizing for Malaysian body types. As the prototypes are using the ASTM standards, they may not be suitable for Asian body types as they are smaller than Caucasian body types. This sizing mismatch could affect the garment fit and comfort for Malaysian women, highlighting the need for adjustment to better align with local body proportions. More exploration of sizing subjects is highly recommended, as currently we lack sufficient data on Malaysian body types and measurements. So to summarize, the tested theoretical framework is proven practical and can be applied for future design applications. The plus-size cesarean undergarment design focusing on the apron belly has proven successful, yielding positive results in terms of clothing, physical, and psychological comfort. Finally, there was an improvement in comfort between the first and fourth hours of wearing period, specifically in terms of variability of the design. So that wraps up my presentation for today. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer any of the questions that you may have.
Thank you, Juliana. Okay, your research area is really thought-provoking because within your specific area of study, we never thought of having all these plus-size undergarments. Now, before I ask some questions from you, does anyone else virtually would like to ask questions to Juliana? Nobody? It's quite complicated, actually. Did your international author attend this, Juliana?
No, she didn't.
She did not, okay. Now, you have a Likert scale and you have mixed method.
Yeah.
So your sample size is 10.
Yes.
Was there any reliability and validity conducted on that?
Yes, because basically the number of the patients and is very, we need to
Small.
Sorry.
It's too small, actually.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. But then because when we did this, it was still during COVID times. So it was a very under strict observation by the specialist. And then I was allowed to do it for 4 hours. And then I cannot touch them. It's very strict. So I can go in there and then they will assist me to be in there, and then we will do it. And then I think for the 10 participants, even though the size is small, but it takes a long time, just to get the right respondent that wanted to, do the test. So this is basically we need to see whether the undergarment works or not, and then we need to prove that it's not going to hurt them. So maybe in the future we can do a bigger sample size, because right now this is just like a startup. We wanted to try it.
So you have a prototype then?
Yes.
How many pieces of the undergarment?
So I made, for the first one, I made about 30 pieces.
Okay.
So because we don't know, we couldn't predict how many 2XL we're gonna have, how many 3XL we're gonna have. So we just made a lot of it. And
what
then
was the cost?
Sorry?
The cost for making the undergarments?
So the cost, because I made it myself, because the cost to do it properly at the factory is too expensive and the MOQ is too big. So I made it myself. The cost for one piece is about Less than 20 ringgit.
Wow, that's good. Okay.
Because I'm sorry.
One last question.
Yeah.
How long did you wait for the patient after C-section to try on your undergarment?
Okay. It's actually 24 hours. Because we need to grab them. We need to grab them because if we lose them, they try check out, we couldn't get them anymore. That's what we saw because we tried to do it in a mass meetups at the hospital from maybe after a week, but none of them want to come. So so what we did was the
It's
doctor.
painful after
Yeah.
C-section. I know. I underwent two
Yes,
C-section. I couldn't move after 48 hours, not 24, 48.
So that's what because sometimes when the doctor will tell me, okay, we have BMI 40 patients today, but then okay, I will stand by. We'll be on standby. Within that for 24 hours, maybe they will want to join or maybe they will want to reject. So there will always that chance of they said I don't want. So we have to understand lah because they are the one in pain, right?
Okay,
So,
one final question. Have you applied for a patent?
Not yet, because this is a part of my study. As you can see, that's where there's mixed method. So all of the process I did it myself. So this is the final result that I get. So I haven't tried to patent it yet because I still need that there's a room for improvement, especially on the production because doing yourself is not as nice as the one that made at the factory.
Yeah, but you have hands-on and that's very
Yeah.
good. So thank you very much, Juliana.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Shall we go on to the third presenter, Dr. Chen Ziumian?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chen Xiumian. My paper topic is about title is cultural influence on Han Chinese embroidery painters during the late 19th and early 20th century. Introduction. 1.1 background. The background are organized in following 3 points. 1. Characteristic of Han Chinese embroidery painters. 2nd, historical context of late 19th and early 20th century. 3. Embroidery painters in the late 19th and early 20th century. 1.2 A and object of study. This study aims to explore the influence of Chinese and West cultures on Han Chinese embroidery painters during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The objective was to examine the influence of Chinese and West cultures on Han Chinese embroidery painters during this period. Literature review. The literature review are organized the following 4 points. 1. Artistic characteristics. 2. Cultural characteristics. 3. Embroidery techniques and inheritance. 4. Innovation and development. Because the time is just 10 minutes, so this part don't speak present detail. We can continue the 3 methodology. The paper methodology is used qualitative research method. This study employs qualitative research methods. The research subject is Han Chinese embroidery painters from the late 19th to early 20th century, with the data source being visual images. Literature review methods and field investigations were used to obtain visual imagery data of Han Chinese embroidery painters from this period. And 3.2, theoretical gather for data analysis. The research applied Lowe's visual research methodology to analyze the collected images. Lowe's 222. Lowe's, in her book Visual Methodology, an introduction to researching with visual materials, suggested that the researchers should select appropriate images according to research purpose and analyze them. Lowe's proposed 6 visual research methods in this book, two of which were iconography and formal analysis. Formal analysis focused on visual elements such as composition, color, and light in the images. So the finding, there are about 4 points of the finding. One, a well-employed painters from this picture. We can see that for this time, painters began to include scenes from the everyday life and Western style landscape sketches, as shown this picture. And the second is the subtle and realistic composition style. From this picture, we can see that it was a Han Chinese crowd suit. Chinese is mean Indian. The method of the crowd suit is a four-part Louis shape. This 4 part. One is purple and the second is blue and the 3 is green and the 4 part is like this. Louis shape neck and symmetrically connected, forming a gradual layering through different color combinations and decorative edges. The tree that rich and diversified color palettes. We can see from this picture. The writing colors integrated Chinese and Western cultural elements. In terms of the design, it remained the basic form of the traditional Chinese woman's jacket, while incorporating Western elements such as the notched lapel. And in the color, bright and vivid color used, such as red, gold, and emerald green. Red and gold are traditionally considered auspicious and lucky color in China culture, with red symbolizing good fortune and happiness, and gold representing wealth and honor. The use of emerald green as an accent color identity follow richness to the overall color scheme. And the 4, we can see innovative embroidery techniques. As this picture, we can see from this picture, this piece incorporate gold and silver thread embroidery and gold wrapped thread techniques. With the coiling and the twisting of the gold threads, creating smooth scrolling floral pendants, giving the design a three-dimensional effect. This is the picture are sourced from the China Several Museum. Discussion let the research focus the time period is the 19th century and early 20th century, and focus study on designing, composition, color schemes, and embroidery techniques.
You have 1 minute, Chen.
Okay. Conclusion that research finding cultural feature and the characteristic of embroidery pendants. Limitation that field investigation limitation may not fully represent the or Han Chinese embroidery pendants. And recommendations we can from company data source, digitizing and categorizing and digital restoration. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chen. That was really fascinating, but I would like to ask anybody who would like to ask Dr. Chen questions. Nobody wants to ask questions on embroidery? Okay, Dr. Chen, you are using qualitative technique, but from what I see, based on your findings, you are only showcasing what is already there that has been collected. So how do you handle the validity and reliability of your findings?
Let the picture I choose the representative museum. For example, China National Silk Museum. That is the China National Museum. And another museum is from the China Jiangnan University Heritage Center. It's from the foremost university in China. So
are you concentrating on the designs of the embroidery, the patterns?
I'm focused on that influence, culture influence that on Han Chinese
the patterns then. The patterns meaning the designs. So my next question is, were the designs hand embroidered or they used machines? But they don't have machines at that period of time. It must be hand embroidered, right?
Focus on that Chinese culture and the West culture influence on the Han Chinese embroidery pattern.
But how did they make it, the embroidery?
I found that I use the use Ladkrabang's visual research method from the visual images.
I think you misunderstood my questions. But that's okay, Dr. Chen. I'm not going to pressure you anymore. So thank you very much. 谢谢.
谢谢 Thank you.
We are on time. So for the fourth paper, starting at 10:45, we have Lee Si-Rui.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee Si-Rui. My topic is Wang modern poetry education and less of creative mechanisms in fairy tales poetry of paper. Through the discussion of this issue, we can have a deeper understanding of how to create high-quality fairy tale poems. First of all, let's learn what fairy tales are. According to Wang Yizhen, fairy tale poetry is expected to
Excuse me,
incorporate
Mr. Lee.
both.
Excuse me. Can I see your face because I have to evaluate your presentation?
Okay, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Can you see me? Okay. To incorporate both poetry and fairy tales, Shu Wei emphasizes that despite the poetry of fairy tales has been regarded as the most elementary and put into the category of children's literature, but in reality, it is be functional for both children and adults. This means that fairy tale poetry needs both the characters of fairy tales and the reflective nature of poetry. However, according to Wang's point of view, traditionally children's literature in China has focused on teaching purpose, often at the expense of imagination and artistry, resulting in the current situation where Chinese fairy tale poetry is overly didactic, lacking in imagination and monotonous. As a result, fairy tale poetry has lost its meaning and it's too simple in structure and imagination. Studying fairy tale poetry in the context of modern pedagogy necessity a literature review and an analytical framework called study selection, data collection, analysis, and ultimately, this research analyzes the selected poetry using a combination of qualitative and comparative literal method, following the conventions of poetry analysis. The study assesses the use of images, metaphors, and symbols within the context of fairy tale poetry. Through the above method, we use this diagram to show the pitfalls that may be encountered in the creation of fairy tales. This picture barely the primary issue that impede the development of Chinese fairy tale poetry, identified through empirical finding in works like the Quarrel in the dictionary Grandpa's Horse and the Tadpole Growlegs. The picture faces three primary challenges: the overwhelming presence of overly instructive content, a notable absence of imagination, and the consequent monotonous structures. Collectively, these factors limit the antique breadth of the genre and hinder audience engagement. Moral messages often detract from article value, whereas the absence of imaginative depth and predictable narratives, they fail creativity, ultimately failing to competitive readers' interest. By illustrating these interconnected challenges, the picture underscored the need for a transformative approach that integrates story richness with nuanced moral undertones rather than overtly structures to enhance both the literary quality and appeal of fairy tale poetry. The study of modern Chinese fairy tale poetry, especially in the Quero, in the dictionary Grandpa's Horse and the Tadpole Legs, reveals persistent fascination with didacticism, a tendency that has significantly constrained the creativity within the genre. This attempt to explain the source of these constraints and seeks ways to overcome them to enrich the poetic experience. First, the didactic tradition. The most important aspect of the poetry is their strict didacticism, which is a characteristic of Chinese children's literature, as it emphasizes lessons over artistic merit. Shu Wei is one of the critics who point out that this does not help in imagination creativity as it requires a story to fit into a moral box. The second is using imagination and artistic skill. In the word of Shu Wei, nonetheless, the lack of stands out starkly evident in their simplistic narrative structures and personifications that barely transcend a set level of figurative expression. Thus, third is closing the gap with Western affiliation. An analysis of Western literature presents a unique approach to fairy tale poetry, emphasizing the fusion of fiction with subtle conveyed ethical lessons rather than overt moral teaching. The fourth is the role of audience engagement. Julia points out that by utilizing universal themes and appealing to deeper emotional connections, fairy tale poetry transcends age, barriers, and culture's border. More is the literature charm. towards finally towards subtle moral guidance. Outing fairy tales poetry requires a movement away from direct teaching to subtle forms of storytelling that simulates bland moral teachings. This change reflects J.K. Rowling's critique as detailed in her work with ferocity, which challenges the overly moralistic path
Okay,
in.
Mr. Lee, your time's up. Could you wrap up, please? The conclusion.
Okay. This is my conclusion, and this is my reference.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, poetry. Poetry is not my forte, so I'll pass to the floor if the participants have any questions for Mr. Lee. Anyone? Mr. Lee, which faculty are you from?
Art and Creative Technology.
Which university?
UITM.
Okay. So you're under the College of Creative Arts?
Yeah.
Oh, it's no longer a college. So you're under the faculty then. So may I know what would be the implications of your findings to the broader knowledge in general?
Can you see the question again?
Your findings on poetry. Okay, the modern poetry education analysis. What would be the implications of your research findings?
I think when they are create fairy tale poetry, they may focus on three elements. One is didactic, and two is imagination, and the third is monotonous.
So would you say that only selected segment of society would appreciate the fairy tale poetry?
Can you speak your question again?
Are you saying that your research findings would impact a small segment of the community who appreciates fairy tale poetry?
Yeah, I think it may. I think if we if we know this result, we can create better fairy tale poetry.
All right, share, Mr. Lee.
谢谢 Thank you.
All right, our next presenter, Zubai.
Hello, I'm here.
Good morning.
Morning,
Ni hao.
Doctor.
Okay, you're going to present on digital conservation of Tang Dynasty military attire
Yes.
for sustainable museums and tourism. Could you put up your slides, please? And when you're ready, please present within the 10 minutes allocated, okay?
Yes, I'm ready.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Bai Xue, a PhD student from University Technology Mara. Today, I'd like to take you on a journey through history and technology as I show my research title, Digital Conservation of Tang Dynasty Military Attire for Sustainable Museum and Tourism. The Tang Dynasty, spanning from 618 to 907 AD, was one of the most prosperous and open periods in Chinese history. In recent years, with ongoing archaeological excavations, numerous terracotta figurines, and museum from the Tang Dynasty have been unearthed. Among them, the armor worn by some warrior figurines is particularly exquisite, that have left a profound impression on me. These archaeological discoveries are fascinating, but also highlight major challenges in preserving and studying Tang military attire. First, Tang ammo is extremely real. This table shows that from 1984 to 2024, no complete Tang ammo has been found in China. Second, as shown on this map, most discoveries are concentrated in border areas and likely belonged to fallen soldiers, resulting in poor preservation. Third, Tang armor was made of material, silk, and howhide materials that are difficult to preserve in burial environment over time. Given these challenges, my research explores how digital technology can offer effective solutions. First, how can digital restoration deepen understanding of Tang military attire? Secondly, how can closed 3D enable virtual restoration of Tang military attire? Third, how can museum enhance imaging with digital teach? Fourth, how can digital teach promote Tang military attire in cultural tourism? There were 13 types of Tang Dynasty armor, each designed to accommodate different combat requirements. Firstly, Tang armor feature segmented design for enhanced mobility. Secondly, shoulder discolorations of often depicted diwan bases, making warrior appear more imposing while providing extra protection. Third, is vibrant colors symbolize the national power. Overall, Tang armor was a perfect fusion of craftsmanship, functionality, and cultural symbolism. But preserving Tang armor is challenging. Traditional restoration takes 3 to 5 years from excavation to exhibition, with textile repair being the most difficult. The complex materials of tang ammo require different restoration technique and preservation conditions, making long-term display difficult. Replicas are costly and challenging to produce. Therefore, technological solutions are gently needed for the restoration and exhibition of Tang military attire. Currently, the use of professional fashion design software such as Close 3D has become a method for reconstruction and cosing. This software supports virtual solving, 3D patterns making, and fitting simulation. Although it has not yet been applied to the reconstruction of Tang Dynasty ammo, it has achieved promising results in similar projects. As shown in the figure, these are successful cases, and I believe Cloud 3D had great potential for the reconstruction of Tang Dynasty ammo. Here are two excellent samples example of digital exhibition. The left image showcases a cultural relax exhibition at the Palace Museum in Beijing, enhances with AR technology. The right image features the Mona Lisa VR exhibition launched by the Louvre Museum in France. It is evident that this display method not only enrich the visitor experience, but also free museum from the constraints of physical space. Therefore, I developed a digital method for reconstructing ammo. We combine the threefold evidence method with Cloud 3D technology. After my showing fragments and consulting ancient texts, we create a digital model in Cloud 3D for realistic virtual fitting. The model is then animated in Maya for VR and AR displays, ensuring historical accuracy and enhancing cultural interactivity. This is my reference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. How do you pronounce your name? Zubai? Okay.
Yes.
Before I ask you questions, anyone on the floor would like to ask questions to Zubai?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead and ask her. Anyone? If you have watched her presentation, do you have any comments? No? Okay, for me, the illustrations that you have shown us, Zubai, they are very fascinating. I have always been fascinated by the Chinese arts. Anyways, almost at the end of your slides presentation, you had relics, which contradicts with the title of your research or the scope of your research. which was on military attire. So I was wondering the one where you had the Louvre Museum. Okay, so if try to focus on just the military attire, if possible, unless that is a gift, all right, from one king to another, I don't know. But otherwise, I think that you have provided good insight for us who have a hard time trying to know more about the Chinese culture from your spectra. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, we are ahead of time, but it's not yet 11:15. If Wale, if you are ready, I think we can continue, even though it's only...
Of course,
Yeah.
you can continue if you are not tired.
Okay, I'm okay. Wale, culture and technology, visitor experiences at the Palace Museum and China Science Museum.
China Science Museum. Could you see my slide?
Yes. So if you're ready, please present.
Wait for a minute.
10
Okay.
minutes. You have 10 minutes. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm
Morning.
Wale, a PhD candidate. It is an honor for me to present at this academic conference. Today, I would like to share with you the research finding of culture and the technology visit experience at the Palace Museum and China Science Museum. Managing stepping into every different words, one a magnificent panels filled with cultures of history, the other the futuristic space where robots issue and the hands-on experiments reveal the wonder of science. But what makes them unique? And more importantly, how do visitors experience them differently? That's actually what my research aimed to uncover. So, what are the key questions driving this study? First, I want to find out what do visitors value the most in current cultural heritage museum, various science museums. Second, how these factors shape visitor satisfied. By identifying core visitor needs, I hope to provide insights that help museums refine their strategies. My research relies on UGC reviews, which mean that person emotion, expectations, and background knowledge. And the second, the literature review. Think about last time you visited a museum. The way people experience museum is complex. Research shows that museum experience involve personal context, social context, physical context. Okay, this museum experience model guide my research. Also, a 220 study reviewed the last museum research and identified 9 key areas shaping visitors' experience. We followed 4 steps in the research method. First, what we analyzed. Over 3,000 visitor reviews from 2 museums, Palace Museum and the China Science Museum. The next step, we do the data processing. how we did data analysis is high frequently word analysis. 2. Thematic network analysis. 3. LDA model topic identification. And then we get the result of analysis. By using test meaning, we move beyond the individual opinions and gain a data-driven understanding of our truthfully shared visitor experience. Fourth, research, analysis, and funding. The study analyzes visitor reviews and extracted 40 high-frequency words to uncover. First, we notice a difference in how people experience these museums. Next, their interests also vary greatly. Another key finding, the demand for guidance is explanations. Finally, overall, visitor satisfied is high. The study used systematic network analysis to explore. To explore how visitors talk about the China's museum and the China Science Museum. By analyzing word coincidences, we discovered a core age structure. First, we can see from the figure at the core level, the China's museums showing that visitor value is historical depth and guidance storytelling. Meanwhile, the China Science Museum shows it is strong focus on education and interaction. Move to the middle layer. The Palace Museums show its culture and agricultural appearance. Visitors also highlight the importance of details and professional explanations. Over at the Science Museum, struck its education role. Finally, the outer layer, the Palace Museum, indicating that visitor planting is a major concern. On the other hand, the Science Museum's highlighting its immersive and participation experience. The determining the number of topics and the constructing efforts in the model perplexing degree treat is referred to. On the other hand, the study examined the topic of coherence mystery. By training a LDA topic mode, we instructed key themes for visitor reviews, revealing 4 major areas of concern. First, for expectations and ticket. Second, on-set interpretation and service. Third, exhibition content and experience. 4, venue, facilities, and the environment. For the fifth part discussion, our key practical finding is China's museum visitors love to historical atmosphere, but often mentioned covered, and they need to engage guide tours. China Science Museum visitor highlight interactive exhibit, family-friendly spaces, and the education venue for display. A theoretical perspective from the front and the de-risking contextual modeling of learning suggests that expectations before the visit and the onset experience 3. For visit reflection, and our research is contribute by using test meaning and the LDA model. We broke down visitor experience in 4 key dimensions. First, for visit inspection and taking. Second, onset interpretation and service. 4. 3. Exhibition content and engagement. 4. Venue facilitate and environment. This helps museum quantify visitor experience and fine-tune their service to enhance engagement. The 6th part is conclusion and the recommendation. So the key recommendation for better visitor experience is matter taking and cover management. Second, tailored on-set explanations. Third, comfortable environment and seamless narration. Finally, a great museum balance culture and tech, real, fun, and easy for everyone. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward for your feedback.
Thank you, Huale. All right, there are about 21 people online right now. Anyone have questions for Ms. Huale? Anyone? No one. Okay, Huale, I do have a few queries that I would like to extend to you. The first one is your data analysis. I think you had secondary data from the number of visitors from the 2 museums. So what tool or software did you use to analyze your data?
I use the software. It is from China, and for the data use the different software. For example,
May I know the name of the software, because you had LDA topic model.
The LDA model is used Python.
Okay. Is it equivalent to NVivo or LSTI? Almost equivalent, because those are qualitative software.
It is the now I will explain the LDA. It's a topic model method that helps find the height theme in a large set of text. It is look at which words often appear together and group them into topics without any labs in advance. It is commonly used for analysis and organizing text data. It is no need to see every word. It's just auto.
Okay.
Yes.
So my next question is, how is it that you are able to gather 8243 valid visitor reviews Were they in the form of soft copies from the museums?
Yes, this topic, I see the LDA give us topic. You can see 4 topic in it, and we it's and we extracted
Okay.
the topic, the main topic.
So did you have to ask approval or consent from the museums to get hold of the 8243 visitor reviews, another 2571 from the China Science Museum?
No.
No, you just extract it as it is.
Yes.
Okay. Because you do know that you have to clear ethics committee at
Yes.
UITM.
Yes, I'm from UITM, Art and Design.
You still have to clear research ethics committee, REC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Of course.
There is something called data streaming, because there are people, especially in the finance and accounting, where they do the data streaming.
Yes.
So they can stream at 20,000 data one time from companies for financial statements and stuff like that. So I was wondering whether you are doing the same with those number of visitors from the museums.
Okay.
You understand my question, do you? I hope so. Anyway, thank you, and all the best to you with your PhD, Huale.
Yes, thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you for your advice.
Sure. 谢谢.
Ah, 谢谢.
All right, let's go on to the last presenter for this session, Ching Wen Su.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Ni
I'm
hao.
here. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, very clearly. So please put up your slides for practical application and impact of VR. VR is actually virtual reality, okay? Not technology. So you have to do the correction there. In animation filmmaking. So you're gonna be a filmmaker one day?
Okay. Can you wait me a moment? I share my screen for you.
Okie dokie.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, I can. Are your authors with you right now?
Yes. No. Miss, can you call me Miss Qing Wensu?
Okay, Miss Ching.
Wensu.
Yep, Miss Ching Wensu. I'm a huge fan of Lina, your tennis player. Okay, you have 10 minutes to present.
Okay.
You can start right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very glad to be here to show my study. My topic is research on practical application and impact of VR technology in animation filmmaking. And my name is Qingwen Su. The following slide shows 2 parts of the background. The first one refers to the Xietian 2022. The first one is about the revolutionizing production efficiency and artistical precision, and refers to the Liu 2021. The second is about redefining audience interaction and the narrative boundaries. Next is my literature review. The first one refers to the Shang 2023. The first part explained that the practical application of VR technology in animated film production refers to the Sandra 2020. The second part explained that the influence of the VR technology in animated film production. Then I move to my methodology. It's divided into 4 sections. The first one, the research desire. Second, the data connection. And third, the data analysis. The last is my literature review. The finding underline the impact of the VR technology in the revolution of animation filmmaking. The uses cover early planning, character molding, and animation production and audience engagement. The slide shows the following 3 points of my findings. The first one, application of VR technology in early planning and storyboard production. The second, application of VR technology in characters, modeling, and animation production. The third, the application of VR technology in post-production and audience experience. Next, my thesis discussion is in 3 sections as follows. The first, impact on production process. Second, influence on artistical creation and performance. The last, influence on the audience experience. The explosion of VR technology makes its importance in animation filmmaking. So therefore, the following 3 conclusions. The first one, enhanced production efficiency and artistical innovation. The second, interactive audience engagement and storytelling evolution. The third one, future potential for boundless creativity. The slide shows my reference. Please take a look. And this is all my presentation. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to your valuable feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Qingwen,
Yes.
you did not describe or narrate your research project. Are you doing a master's or PhD?
Yes.
Which one?
PhD.
Okay. So I was looking through your slides. You just run through the methodology, but what is your research design?
I research design for now.
To make it simpler, is it qualitative, quantitative, or both mixed? Okay, what semester are you in right now?
Art design.
No, which semester? Semester 1 or 2 or 3?
Semester 3.
3. So your proposal defense have been approved?
Yeah.
So what is your research design then? Is it quantitative or qualitative?
I think it's mixed.
Mixed.
Yes.
All right. So what data collection did you do?
I will search some online questionnaire.
So what will be your units of analysis then?
I will do this in China and online questionnaire.
Okay, so your sample size would be?
Sample size I think is audience to see the animation.
How many? The numbers?
Maybe 200.
300. And
Yes.
after that, how would you do the data analysis?
I will use the I didn't think before.
Yeah, because it's troubling because your slides is very, very superficial.
Yeah.
You just run through the headings and nothing else. And
Yeah.
then in your methodology, you also had, I have your slides in front of me, okay? You also had literature review. Why is your literature review incorporated in your research methodology? That's not right. Can you go back to that slides, please?
Okay. Can you see my slide?
No.
Which slide? Which page?
Methodology.
Methodology?
So you have there, right?
Yes.
It's not shown on the screen, so the audience cannot see it.
Okay, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes. So you see you have 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one is literature review. Why is that in chapter 3 of the methodology? It should be separated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So why is it there? What theories are you using for your study?
Yes.
What theory? You're not sure?
Yes, I'm not sure.
Okay. In that case, your findings, go to your findings, please.
Okay.
Go to the slide on findings.
Okay. Can you see my
No.
screen? No? Okay.
We're still on the methodology slide. Next one. Okay. So your findings is just statements. You know,
Yes.
statements of your intention to do something.
Yeah.
Of your, those are not findings actually. Okay. And when you do qualitative even, where would your propositions be? And since you are doing mixed method, it also includes quantitative. Where are your hypotheses? Those are very, very important methodology and methods to ensure rigor, validity, reliability in PhD. Okay, you cannot miss that, Qingwen.
Yes.
All right?
Okay.
So it's very concerning. And then your discussion is just very basic. It's just something like you put in there, and I expected you to elaborate and elucidate
Okay.
the discussion. You did not. You just ran through, and then suddenly you showed us your conclusion and your references. So in your next presentation, make sure you have everything in there, right? Otherwise, people will question the rigor of your work, which is not up to PhD level if you do not show, all right, the evidences, the empirical evidences. Okay. So
Okay.
anyone else in the audience? Do you have questions for Qingwen? All right. If not, we'll get her off the hook. And I hope the comments that you've received today will ensure that you make, your thesis or your proposal is updated. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a nice day.
You too. All right, everyone, we have concluded Breakout 4 for today with about 8 papers. And with that, I hand over to Prof. Yusuf. Thank you so much for having me chair this session.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Prof. Guy.
You're welcome.
Great timing and quite an interesting topic, especially when it relates to the country of China. There's a lot of things to learn and know, actually. been trying to go there to organize the conference and still not successful yet. Anyway, Prof. Thank you very much. We are waiting for our next breakout chair, Dr. Sharona. She's in touch, but please bear with us. By the way, Prof.
Yeah.
Yeah, soonest please, yeah, the marks, because we have to tally it for the Best Paper Awards punya
Sure.
marks, yeah.
I'll send them to you in 10 minutes.
I mean, anytime today.
It's okay. I don't like to procrastinate.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you, Prof, for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much again.